Okay, so the first two players went and not a single rating sweep. That's pretty strange for this playthrough. It's because the board's longer over here than over here. It makes it more possible to jump and hit a couple of ratings wars quickly, and then here it's more difficult. We did have green landed on a little fine. Red, though, landed on a television production company. Could open up bidding, but here's the thing. Most of the other players are almost out of the game. Even though I have, by a little bit, the most money, I think that I don't want to offer anything up. I think I want to watch people drop by the wayside. I could buy this, but it would probably cost me my edge over against a player with money. Now, whether or not money's open in this game is up for question, but it's certainly trackable if it's not. So, given that there's bidding, etc., it can make differences knowing how much everybody has, and that's something your playgroup would have to decide on. Blue then landed on one. Well, not much hope of getting anything with just $1,000. He's pretty much screwed, but he put the cheapest kind of thing he could think of, a 30-minute sitcom up. Not a very good one either. And goes up to 3,000 for the guy who could afford 3,000 and still invest in his next sweeps to see if he can stay alive through that. Well, this guy has the cash, so he ended up turning around and picking it up for 3,500, which this guy cannot afford. Now, again, if money's hidden, you could have an overbidding to try to bluff this guy into paying more. That's always risky, but I tend to do that. If we're assuming that there's open money, here's the biggie. Black just landed here on the television production, grabs a 120-minute action film and puts it up for 3,000. If it's open money, he knows this guy pays his 3,000 and he no longer has the cash to fund a rating sweep. Nobody else is in the competition at that level. I'm going to give him a chance at this. This is a big deal to get a show this big. But he's going to pass on it. And yeah. Turns out it's not as valuable as one might think. But for $3,000, I get to cover up a lot of the board once. That's, probably a better deal than a $5,000 investment in the whole lineup's bonuses. All right, on to another round. Okay, so some hard decisions. First of all, everybody knows we have another ratings war starting off here. Everybody knows the first slot is going to be probably the safest slot to try to get something through that'll live, but at the same time, quite probably the death of one of these two players. It's also, therefore, vital because we don't know exactly what these guys have. There's a special in there for this guy, whoever he is, to put a strong show in that slot. He may be able to get away with weaker shows facing up against whatever the black player has there. All right, so let's take a look. Sitcoms are going to be penalized. And he could have actually told that. The problem is he was debating whether or not to put something that would have probably won but would lose against this. Now, he doesn't know for sure that that particular show that he's aware of is going to be in that first slot, but he's got a big suspicion. It's been leading things off all along. Drugnet, powerful at 95. Only 90 for Gunsmoke. The special. Notice no money spent here, but this guy spent, so he's actually at 105. I put the cash out ahead of time. Finally catching up with that. Okay, so the lead is going to go to Drugnet, but that means nobody's going to get that bonus. And we can just take him off the board. He no longer really matters. But the question is, how well does the special do? And with an 8, it ends up killing Dopey Gillis. So my thinking here was this could probably have kept itself alive through the first slot, but then in the second slot it's going to be running up against Gunsmoke. And I don't want to lose it under those circumstances. So we hit that second slot and we got a 90 facing the fake McCoys at 20. Boom, they're gone. All right, and now I've already basically conceded by putting this 120. I had to use it. Alfred Switchback ends up killing this very, very weak How the West Was Lost. And the only advantage is I got rid of his $5,000. He no longer has enough cash to ever do that again. And then the rest of his lineup gets revealed. Wyatt Burp, People Are Funny Looking, and Adam 12, Eve 7. You know, we've seen a lot of the names here, and it's kind of neat to have that nostalgic look back at some of them. In some cases, hey, what the hell, which show is that? You know? Well, that's true, but the humor in the names seems a little, I don't know. It just doesn't hit me as well as it might. Reminds me of the old Tom Wham game, File 13, that had puns on all the names of games. Same kind of feeling. It's kind of neat the first time maybe you're looking through it, but it's not going to really carry the game very far. What carries the game is this guessing game that you're playing up here. And someone who plays it a lot more than I have pointed that out in the comments very nicely. Okay, now we're going to move on to Red. So Red landed on a television production company. He definitely wants to get it out there, even though he probably isn't going to win it. At least draining other people's money, whatever, may make for a little bit more equalization. The problem, of course, is he's going to be going past start soon, and maybe get the jump on other people for a later one. So, yeah, maybe there's a reason not to. I got a pretty good show. It's going to be hard to kill this, which is one issue. When somebody has just, you know, one really awesome show left, it looks like they're on death's row, but they might actually survive for quite a while in a non-two player. Once the game gets down to 2 players, you get, you know, the other player can usually figure out how to hammer you eventually. With stars and such not. We haven't seen a lot of bonuses coming out in this game. Okay, so now the question then is, if I do want to put something out, what would I want to put out? You know, I put something small out. If I spend $2,000 on it, it probably doesn't do me a damn bit of good. I end up with something in the 830 slot that's garbage, and everybody may kind of feel that way. I think I'm gonna do that because if I put something big out, it's going to go for a real price, at least, well, not a real price. It's going to go fairly cheaply. So giving this guy $2,500 for more options to kill things with, that doesn't sound like a great idea. And potentially giving this guy something decent for, say, $3,000 or whatever. All right, so, although, again, keeping in mind the fact that you're going to get 3,000 more bucks, that's enough to run advertising again. So I think I want to put something fairly small, and I'm going to put the $1,500, or actually the $1,000 minimum bid, because nobody's going to get it for $2,000. What do I want out there? And this is where you choose it all the time. Well, I know there's some action that I'd be facing. It looks like I'd be facing anything except drama. Now, I've already got a drama out there. So I think I'm going to put a 30-minute drama out there. It doesn't terribly help me, but with a $1,000 bid, probably maybe nobody else wants it. He's going to pass on it. He's the only other guy who can bid, and it would take a big, I'm going to make it a double odds for him to actually get this show, because he'd be breaking into his $5,000 for it. So that's a pretty decent show for a cheap price. It probably won't last, but it may help in some way. Who knows? He's got to get his portfolio up larger. Let's see what Red does. All right. Quick $3,000. Bulletin. Begin filming next year's miniseries. Pay $3,000 now. You must also forfeit your next $3,000 payment for passing on the airspace, but then choose a free 120-minute action or drama program. If no such program is available, you can keep the $3,000 payment instead. And okay, so he loses that $3,000 he just got. And now on his next period, he'll be getting a big 120. You know, at a reasonable price. That's a good way to make too much money. At a reasonable price in most games, but to tell you the truth, in this game, money is so dear so far because nobody's been landing on these. There's been too many ratings wars, too much programming's gotten killed that you kind of don't want to have to pay that $3,000 even on it. You probably could get something for less than that. Okay, well, I'll just keep rolling. I don't usually play in situ like this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Best network broadcast news. Okay, so he's just stolen the news bonus. And then we finish it up with another ratings war, and I'll be back with the results of that. Not a lot available in choices. 3 people though are competing for those first 2 slots. Well, the 4th person here. So let's see who dies here. I put a weaker thing in front here with the thought of I might be able to survive with that, and then this will have a chance of surviving against some of these big boys. We'll see. I did not spend the $5,000 and I don't want to. Here's why. I don't think I can beat the top thing anyway. And the money might be worth more. Nobody else has the cash. So let's take a quick look at what the special runs at. It runs at a big 35, so it dies. And that is the end of player 3. The network news, I can just put that over here. It's no longer in the game, as it were. And we'll just take him off the board. Okay. So now we come to the second slot here. And what has the win here? It looks like Gunsmoke does. And it's going to beat out Drugnet. But Dizzy's World of Black and White is gone. Another player down. If he had saved if he had played his $5,000 bonus, it still wouldn't have been enough to save him. And that's kind of the problem. Didn't know what this was though. It probably would have been safer to put that in play. So now we're 2 players down. And it goes to a 2-player game. I've played games from the start with 2-player, not many, 1, with my wife recently. And yeah, it's pretty cutthroat. You know that every time you put a show up, you're going to, and it's the same lineup here that we had before, just because we don't want to reveal more of our chits more than anything. You end up really kind of knowing what the other person's choices are beyond their hidden chits. Quite often you're pretty used to what their good lineup is. Of course, that's for the person who's winning slots. If you're losing all the slots like I was, you end up in this kind of, you've got unknown shows, but they're unknown and probably worse. Just because you put your best stuff up. Is it wise to always put your best stuff up? No, but I have obvious trouble identifying those points where you don't want to. And sometimes it's not clear. There's enough. See, here with only 2 shows up here, there's not a lot of flexibility. So, to go for the kill, for player number 2, Gunsmoke should go up first because that can kill Drugnet. That means Drugnet should go up first for them. But they're tied, which means it's going to come to a die roll to see whether or not both his shows survive or just one. So other options might be to push, you know, something crappy in front before to face Drugnet to make sure I kill one of the shows. So, you know, all kinds of little games you can play in there. But on the other hand, does that ensure that I kill one? No. Actually, that doesn't. So what I'd like to get to is Petting Place and hit that. So that what I'm looking at is if this is his lineup, I want to avoid getting hit by Drugnet. So it's kind of a, you know, total, geez, rock, paper, scissors, Rochambeau type of experience where, you know what the other guy's got, you know what you've got, and you're just trying to outguess him at this point. That's actually what the whole game is in terms of these, but it's, you know, a kind of neat mechanism that fits in well with the spirit of the game, well, the topic of the game. All right, we're going to take a little break. All right, well, Green opened things up by going around start, getting $3,000. They now have more money. Hitting the television production company. They have the opportunity to buy something. They can bid $2,500 on a big long show and run that up against the opponent. It doesn't really matter what type of show you have. And this is then where, although throughout the game, knowledge of what the countermix is could be very important. If you've seen good shows, the good show out of a particular time slot and type, well, then you wouldn't want to pick that time slot and type. And that's one aspect that I actually dislike about this game a good deal. But anyway, I think I'm going to buy, just because I don't have the $5,000 to protect my whole lineup anyway, and I'm going to grab myself a big old 120-minute drama. Let's see what I got. Pretty good. Not fantastic, but it should be able to hold its own against what's been the tail of his lineup. We don't know which way things are going now, though, because there's enough room there that he may shake up his lineup. So any lineup could be randomized here. Alright, let's make a roll for red. 5. Okay, this is bidding on a star. A star can do quite a bit, especially for a really good show. Is it worthwhile? Is it worth $1,000 at this point to say boost Alfred Switchback to pretty good? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna pay the $1,500 for my initial bid and grab myself a star, and I get a pretty good one, a 30-point D&D Griffith. That'll be cool. Yeah, I might as well just keep on video for a while. Steal a star. Well, that sucks. My big cash payout just went over to him, and now I'm in a lot of trouble if I go into a rating sweep. Drugnet ties my best. Petting Place I'm aware of. That would also tie my best with the star. I'll flip him up because everybody knows about him now. A chance at an Emmy. I gotta roll doubles to get it, and I do. Well, that's even better than the star. This is one use only, but it's a 50-point blast. So we're beginning to see, you know, a lot of opportunities as we go into these lineups. I'm kind of glad it's down to 2 players at this point. Usually it happens earlier, from my memory, where you have a lot of options of where to put stars and where to put your reviews and everything. Another show, and I got the most money, so for $1,000 I'm gonna grab myself another big 120. Yeah, this isn't great, but it helps fill me out if I land on a sponsor. The network news bonus ends up over here. That'll be a little help. The network news bonus switches. And a bulletin. Basketball playoff scoring, big ratings points. Collect 3,000 bucks. Money's not always this dear in a game, but it usually is. The real question is, do people feel the need to spend that 5,000 advertising money when they have it? Early in the game, that can save your life, but it becomes tougher and tougher. But right here, you would definitely be playing it because you're looking at a random situation. You know, you might know what some of this stuff the other guy has is, and you know it's going to be close. And we're on a ratings bar here. Go through a little bit of thinking here. This is our first player. We're going up. So I could throw Drugnet up here, get a big 95 points. That's pretty decent. I'd kind of like to put Dandy Griffith with Ruts, see if I can keep that alive. The problem is, of course, then I'm risking Dandy Griffith along with the show. And here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to face one of his good shows with an Emmy. Because Ruts is long enough, it's going to cover a lot of stuff. There's a good chance that I'll end up going up against Gunsmoke. Well, we both know that we may have to protect our best shows instead of boosting a weaker show. And that's kind of an issue here. And so there's this possibility too. This is 120 points. Gunsmoke with an Emmy is 140. I still can't beat that. So, you know, but this is more likely to keep Dandy Griffith alive. Painful, painful options. I'm going to randomize a lot of these choices. Some strategy in mind, but at the same time the randomization in place, this is what we end up with. And Ruts ends up with the +5 bonus here. Nobody's got the 5,000 bucks. It would definitely be worthwhile. Gunsmoke opens up with that 50-point Emmy. That's 140 versus 70. There goes Ruts. If I had put the Dandy Griffith on there, that would have been killing both the star and the show. It's painful to lose such a big show. Maybe I should have just said, hey, screw it, I'll put this piece of crap in there. Couple of free passes, then I get to here with 45. Drugnet easily kills that, and Dandy Griffith then easily kills this. So both sides are losing stuff. I probably shouldn't have put my good show in there with that Emmy up again, possible up against it, but that's where we end up. And now I'm gonna play out Red's turn at the very least. A lot. A lot. 3,000 bucks, I gotta pay this. I have no option on this. And I'm gonna get 120-minute action or drama for free. I'll take a drama. I still don't think I've seen a really good one of them. And that's not a really good one of them. Okay. And now I get a viewer's views. Remember, I must play this on the next one. It's a good one, and that'll help out a little bit. Let's do another turn. $3,000 and spin-off opportunity. If you have a sitcom rated 70 or better, you can pay $1,000 and get a new sitcom. Well, I don't have one. That sucks. It's kind of nice to be able to get something. Over to Red. Steal a star. There goes Dandy Griffith back. What a mercenary. All right. I think it's time for another one. So Green got a quick roll, 2 spaces to the television production company. And they're in this position where They really could use more shows. There's no question of that. But Red has more money. Now, if money's not open, maybe they don't know that for sure. Maybe they have to try to, make a guess there. It's easier when I'm playing solo to have the money open when it's easy to analyze. If it's really hard to analyze, I can just say, hey, it's hidden. No big deal. But here it would be fairly easy to track in your mind. But I probably wouldn't know within $500 range, right? Here's the problem. I would like to get something out to drain some of his money or get a new show. It's not worth a lot to me no matter what the show is. Obviously, I mean, if I put a big show up, I'm just going to lose it completely. So I'm going to put a smaller show up, but I don't feel like I want to spend more than, $1,000 or $2 on it. Maybe Red will feel the same way, that it's less important to them as well. It doesn't really matter what category we pick unless we're looking at trying to analyze what the chits that have been played are. And I don't want to add that dynamic into this. I have enough to remember, but it is a factor when you're playing. Okay, so I'm going to throw one up for 1,000. We'll see if Red's interested. They'll go to 1,500. I'll go to 2, and that's enough. Red could try to starve out his holdings. Specials are always kind of neat, but there's always a question of, do you want to bid it or do you not? It's hard to decide. Now, if I had spent my whole wad here and didn't have the cash, I would have to sell off shows as per the bankruptcy rules. Now, they're just destroyed if I sell them off. And remember, their rating counts towards their value for that. Cast change harms opposing show. Player of your choice will automatically lose ratings war, tie resolution die roll. You can keep this card until it's used, but it must play it before the ratings tie is otherwise resolved. So you have to play it before you roll the dice. You need not be involved in the tie. Neat little option. We'll see if I can remember it. Ow! Things are not looking as good for Red as they were a little while ago. If he starts rating his shows, he's not going to have the advantage he had. It's not like he has a big money advantage. All he has is these 2 chits, really. And another positive one. There are negative ones in there. The fact that you get to understand, to control which show you put this on while you're doing your setup, etc., that gives you a lot of flexibility. So you can put a crap show with a negative review, and it doesn't really hurt you. You're going to lose the show anyway, probably. On the other hand, you can put a moderate or good show up there with the good reviews to bonus it, or a crap show to keep it alive, maybe in a larger number of players. This movie studio, I'm going to roll 2 dice, right? And that's how many thousands I pay. Yeah, but I only have $1,000. This is an optional expenditure, so I cannot sell off shows or anything, so I'm not interested in finding out what die roll I got there. And we hit a ratings war. This could be the end. It's unlikely, though. There's still... Actually, no, it can't be the end. This guy's got more programming, I think, than the whole lineup. Yeah, he's got at least 1 extra show left at the... Here's our setup, and I actually feel they're pretty close to even. Let's take a look at what we got here. Going into the 5, we've got, or into the +5. We got Gunsmoke going up against, let's see what it rates. Nobody's got 5,000. Well, it rates 105, so finally Gunsmoke is killed. That means a free pass for Drugnet. Now here's where things get interesting, because they put a kind of crappy Your Shoe of Shoes, only 40 points, but I put the 24 in there. Feeling like this might be my chance to get the hit on them. Unfortunately, we got Dandy Griffith up against it. So that's 100 points on the Alfred Switch plots versus 64-69. Your Shoe of Shoes is beaten, and that protects the drama which followed, which was absolute crap. Now, if you line your lineup up the other way, things go very differently, right? You know, I mean, it's all how this gets arranged that matters. And a lot of that's very much just a guessing game and some psychological. Oh, crap. I forgot to put this on something. I'm going to discard it. Just say it helped one of the others. It was a positive one. And now that was green, so we go with red. And another show. Well, for $1,500, I can buy something big, and I'll grab myself the big other. It's a huge special. That could be quite potent, actually, or pretty lame. But I mean, the fact that it covers a long period can make it a real killer if it gets a good roll on people. Alright, my big $3,000, and you can see you really are scraping by in this game in a way that you're not in a lot of these games. We didn't have a tie, so. Recent theatrical releases made a star out of one of your series actors. If any remain to be purchased, you can buy an unknown for $1,000. That sounds like a good deal. And we get Carol Burnett. Talent agency. Do I want to put another star up that I'm likely to lose? Not really. On the other hand, putting another one out might be kind of neat, just to drain his cash, but no, I don't. Now another show. $1,500. I can buy myself whatever I like. And I'll take a nice big action flick, and it's another special. There's going to be bad ones showing up in here soon, and here's one. Chance at an Emmy. Emmys are humongous if you can get them. Chance at an Emmy. Dice flying off the table. And I get one. And they're all 50 points. That could be a major blast. Basically, I can put that on even a mediocre show and make it a winner. And roll some dice a few more times. And we hit a ratings war. Time to set the... Both sides are front-loading their schedules again. That may be my problem and why I screw up. Worth $90.95 up against 100. The Emmy goes back in here. Those don't run out. These things all run out. $100 here. Moving against this, now it's got a +5, so we're not going to get a tie there. 60, I managed to knock out that big special. That's going to protect, and this is terrible for this guy, that's going to protect this pile of garbage, McMilkman and Wife, with a boring rating. Which means we come into this next level at +5. Unfortunately, I only had Mrs. Ed in there, facing a special which is guaranteed to beat it at least 20 points. So there goes Mrs. something feels wrong. I feel like I had things lined up wrong and I switched them around. I don't remember. Oh boy, I think that's what I did. I think I put them in the wrong spots. I don't think the $5 for the network news mattered. Jesus. You know, I'm gonna have to go back and look. This is never a problem, obviously, when you're playing opposed, because you're lining up just one thing, but I'm trying to do things quickly here, and I'm not sure who had which set. I think these were down here. Alright. It doesn't matter much. You're getting to see the mechanisms in play, and I don't think we're going to learn much about who won or who's winning and who isn't. So I'll just not look at the video. Like, I could go back and look and see what's up. All right, $1,000 gets me whatever the hell I want, and I want. So I'll take 120 minute, and it's a piece of crap, but it'll make me money if I land on sponsor. I think that means it's time for a bit. I looked back and this is correct. DrugNet. Oh shit. Was in the first position back in some of the earlier things. It's held throughout the game. Each side took another turn of viewer's view over here. You know, I mean, there's just not much interest in running around the board, but it seems pointless to stop the camera to explain each thing when it takes so little time. Loyal viewers, this is bulletin over for red. Write-in campaign saves a program of your choice. This is only usable during May sweeps. Back there. And only to save a program canceled during May sweeps. Any multiple time slot program saved would not have to undergo further competition during the ratings war. You just get to play it. The show is sort of canceled, I guess, for the remainder of that thing. It's not going to knock anything out, but it shows back up in your hand, and that's a useful way to keep things. There are a couple of ways to get shows back onto the board. And we're on the May sweeps. And remember, he's got a special hand. He's got a stronger deck of pieces. But we've got some coming back. You know, neither side looks like they're ready to fall apart anymore at this point. I did it again. I put these guys... Now with only two, I'm tending to get them in the wrong slot. Right? Shit, I don't know. Yeah. Alright, so both actually played to the same tactic here, which can often happen. Which is, hey, we both saw that a long show can end up killing a back-end longer show, so let's put a really short show in here and try to pad our programming with something lousy, but there's nothing else to watch. Okay. And going in with the bonus, DrugNet comes in with a 95, and it's facing the 100 here. That kills a good show. This is only for ties. So that's a pretty killer move against him. Now he's got his special with Carol Burnett versus the rather lousy Jack Parsha, which probably doesn't serve as very good cover here. But let's see. It's at 35. Carol Burnett is 60, so there goes. I'm sorry, the Pack Jar Show. And now to the final slot where a special that counted as boring. Now, I didn't want to risk petting place, even though it's probably less valuable than the special. I don't know. The randomness of specials always seems like a little bit of a Hail Mary to me. With minus 23, that special may still beat out I Hate Lucy. That's going to be 27. Plus 5 is 32, right? And indeed it does. And I can get rid of the viewer's view. It's always nice to be able to survive a viewer's view that sucks. red. Steal a program. Now, this would be great if you could pick which program, but it's not too bad. Green is holding on to all kind of nice stuff. Do I want to get rid of Petting Place, or do I want to get rid of this special? The special average is 70. This time I'm going to discard Petting Place over there. Alright, we'll just keep going a little longer. I don't know why. Critics' Choice. Now these are very much like the viewer's views. They just give you a bonus. $3,000. Oh, I should have probably used this card because I may not get through a May ratings war. The only thing I could have saved though was I Hate Lucy, so I don't feel too bad holding on to it, I guess. And now, if I get a really crappy roll or a really low roll, not crappy, I'll be able to get a movie. Not quite low enough. I only have $3,000. All right, let's do it again. Yeah. 3,000 and nothing. That's something I picked up from my dad. Not terribly happy about it. I don't like any kind of verbal repetitiveness. But we're all subject to it. Time for a bid. I'm gonna refuse because I know what he's got and I know I got a shot at taking him out. And if I add more, well, maybe I don't. I got 2 good shows and some crap. Yeah, but I can't outbid him. If it's anything decent enough, you know, in length or whatever, all I'm doing is adding to his bonus. So maybe he'll roll really poorly next time. Maybe I'll get some extra opportunity. And there I am going to pause again. Okay, another bit of a windfall here. Green gets $500 for each 30 minutes of programming. That worked out to $2,500 more bucks. And money is so tight in this game, and it's always tight, which is why those $5,000 initial bonuses are a big deal. And then, and I may have a package, a failed Emmys check there. I'm gonna have to go offline just in case my UPS man is bringing me some. Large amounts of extra money landing on the television production company. I could definitely buy whatever I liked. And it's usually better to buy long programs, but I wanted to fill out my slot, and so I paid, I guess, the $3,000 to keep this guy locked out that I would have had to pay for a longer show. And a longer show might have been a better move. I wouldn't have to fill my entire space if I got that, but we'll see. I felt like it might be useful to get some additionals. The problem with this is now I have to use this. It's a good show, so I'm not too upset about it, but we'll see. And then we ended up on a ratings war, and we'll go. So now this guy's got a problem. He can't use this, because if he does, he can't fill his whole schedule. So he's got to use this very crappy 120-minute show. What do I want to do with that? Well, I basically have 3 choices. I can put it in the front, I can put it in the middle, or I can put it at the bottom. I'm going to randomize those. I'll put it at the bottom of the schedule. It'll probably die early. And then I want to protect these. Now, killing the network news bonus seems important. So I'm going to put my best show here and then maybe get the 5-point lead in here. Nobody still has $5,000. And now we get to take a quick look. And we've got a good review on a special. Dandy Griffith's pretty powerful though. But the special doesn't need all that much to beat him with that review. And an 11 will certainly do it. That's going to wipe out most of the second player's lineup. Kills Dandy? No. He has the write-in campaign. Looking at my other shows, this is the most important thing I have. So I'm going to keep switch plots. I think this will also save Dandy Griffith. And the rules aren't absolutely explicit about that. The question comes to whether the show was ever actually canceled. And it seems like it prevents it from being canceled. So now we go to this next slot. Now here we have, what, 110, 115. I threw out the ratings bonus. It's 140 something. It's just going to blow everything away. So there goes Petting Place, and there goes this crappy Still Another Night at the Movies. But you can see the red player, sorry, is pretty much depleted. None of their shows really survived. They still have this, and that's potent. And over here we get to take a look. Miami Lice with Carol Burnett. I used to enjoy the Miami Mice Sesame Street thing. Alright, that gets us to green again. And we're getting close to the end here. More money. So let's see. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sounds like $3,500. I don't know what I put in there. I put money in and I don't know what it is. I think I put the 1,500 in so I get a 5,000, but I'm not sure. Not keeping much track right now. I've got an interview in a little while and I'm just okay. Critics' Choice, not a good thing. That's probably going to end up on McMilkman. Another show. Well, I've got a pretty decent lineup here. In order to ensure that I get anything, I'm going to have to bust into that 5,000, and that's a plus 10 bonus. Now, that plus 10 bonus might not be as good as a show that I get. I know Miami Mice beats out Alfred Switch Plots, but it does not beat it out with Andy Griffith or maybe this. So it's going to be hard to kill that. I may need a really good show to kill that. But what about it with the 10 points? So this is 90, 105 versus 100. Yeah, I got him beat. I'm not going to throw money in. I might end up opening something up that he gets, or having to get rid of that plus 10 that I think can win me the game. So I'm going to pass on the chance. Problem, though, is that this $3,000 bonus is going to him. He'll have almost as much money, and it's going to be harder. He might be able to throw the 5,000 bonus himself, but he lands on the cameraman strike and doesn't get that opportunity. Steal a program. Well, this sucks. I'm going to give up the worst that I have, but that means I'm not going to get to use Dandy Griffith. I've got to use this, and Alfred Switch Plot, whatever this is, it's probably not more than plus 30 or so. I mean, it's actually very, very bad. But whatever it is, there's a much better chance now that I can target that single slot and kill it. I get $3,000 and a chance to buy a hell of a big one of the big movies, which are big killers, at 7,000. That's a lot of money in this game, but it's also a 100-point huge thing that can probably take the other guy out completely, especially if I throw Bernard on for 10 more points. So we'll take that, and we got Bunny and Claude. Ooh, a sponsor, but only one programming half hour. That's not going to do it. Critics' Choice Award, that could cause me some issues. Oh, that's a nice one. A bulletin. Now these can shake things up quite a bit. People's Choice Awards. All players advance their tokens to the nearest viewer's views and draw one. So now I'll have, if I only have one show, I'll have a choice between these to put up. Neither one's in my favor. But that makes this seem a little more potent than it is. But this is pretty killer, to tell you the truth. Okay. That puts us on green. More sponsorship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is 6,500. And now you're beginning to see, you know, if you manage to land on these things when you have reasonable amounts of programming in the game, people can make a lot of money. I kind of like the idea, I've never tried it, of the variant where everybody collects on a sponsor hit and the guy who lands there gets a sort of a bonus. But that bonus could be a big deal if everybody's programming lineup is depleted overall. And a movie studio shot, very low chance of being able to get anything. Nothing comes. Break time again. Well, there's still a little play left. After you attempt to hit, failed attempt at an Emmy, over here, Red got a steal a program. And the choices are not good as to what I can give away. I could give away this special, which is small and therefore, you know, maybe less consequential. But I'm going to give away the lousy McMilkman and wife. But that was some protection for this player. In fact, had the steal the program gone the other way, the game would be over. No bonus for landing on. Some games use that the same way Monopoly variant players like to do that. Make the spot mean something if you actually hit it. And a sponsorship as well as the $3,000. That's going to help a little bit. Let's take a look. What do we got here? 90 minutes, that's 3, 4, 2,000 bucks more. So in terms of cash, this guy's got a decent amount now. Might be able to afford some things. Can afford the 10-point bonus. He's got a pretty good setup here, although he's got these damn things that'll prevent him from using Dandy Griffith. So he may still be out of it. Talent agent, time to open up a star. You know, I feel like doing so is shaking things up. I'd kind of rather not do it. I'm going to pass on that option. Now this could seriously shake things up. If it had been doubles. Steal a star. Now, Dandy Griffith is the good star, and he's now protected by Carol Burnett, which means this guy's not likely to get as good a star back. Not a big deal in the current situation, but it will be once those reviews go away. Show. You know, we need to do it. We need to bring it out. See what we're looking at here. We're looking at least an hour. We may want to go even bigger than that. That'll help keep this in play. The problem is, whatever it is, if it is bigger, we're going to get hosed by this. We need to get more shows out, though, to get more randomness on the board. So if I look at my schedule, I got room for an hour show. And that's what I'm going to put up. It doesn't really matter the type. I'll grab an action show because I don't remember the things. Now we got to think, well, how big a deal is it? That 10-point bonus might just keep Alfred switch plot alive, although that's unlikely. Yeah, I'm just going to go with 3,500. We'll see if he can outbid that, and then I got to think real hard. He's not going to outbid that. He's going to let him get the new show at 3,500. Personally, I'm not sure that's a great idea, but he's got enough cash for a couple of double plays, or if he gets a movie or something, we get, yeah, that's pretty decent. That's going to be kind of annoying. Now, that was green that landed there. Green didn't want to do that. Shit. Yeah, my mind is totally not on this. See, green passed on one. I'm not sure why I ended up with another one. I'm going to assume he moved here because that's, I feel like there were two in a row, one that was a pass and one that wasn't. A little crappy money owing. There goes his $5,000 bonus he was holding. Another star shot. You know, I think actually he is the one who landed here. He was on a star before and landed on that. I don't know. I can't keep track in this game. You know, the focus just isn't there this time. He's going to pass on the star. He's got his bonuses. He had the steal a star, that's why. I don't know. Another television company one. 4,000 bucks says I can put a... Oh, I've got this up here. So now if I'm looking at this, I need a 90-minute show to fill in my slots. I'm going to put a 90-minute show up. We'll take a drama. And we'll put 4,000 on that. Now this guy can get that for 4,500, and it's probably worth it. I'm going to roll twice. No, he's going to let him have it for 4,000. Just buying up new shows. And it's a nice one. And that's really a problem, is letting somebody, you know, come back like that. You kind of want to take control of the shows in a way that we're not seeing there. And I got to check the time because I got this stupid interview. I got a lot to do with my disorientation right now. And I can't load this up on my computer because if I try to, well, I could do it with the crappy vid producer, but I can't screw with my computer. That's my phone method. So yeah, you know, I hate anything that disrupts my existence. My existence has to be static and regular and predictable, and things like phone interviews fuck that up completely. All right. You know, I don't mind when I know I'm at work for there to be some chaos while I'm there, but it's like when I have this planned event ahead that I've got to deal with. This plumber yesterday was the same damn thing. I mean, my whole week was destroyed by this plumbing incident. Just having to know it. Alright, let's get my 3,000 over here and a possible Emmy. Green. Another show, and they're going to be fairly cheap here. I definitely want to buy, knowing the value at 3,500. Actually, I can do it for 3,000. That's the amount of money he has. I'm going to buy myself 120 minutes of programming. There's only one left that's that big, and it's okay, but not something that I want to make it, you know, not something that's going to make a big deal to the play. Might increase my income on sponsorships though. Get a bulletin. Recent blockbuster theatrical release doubles the bonus value of one of your stars in the next ratings war. You must name the star before primetime lineup cards are revealed, discarded after the next rating card. So if I don't have a star, it's not going to help me. Some more. Talent Agency. I don't want to bring a star out. First of all, these cards are known. And secondly, I've got 2 stars. I'm good. I owe $2,000, and there goes most of my money. Steal a star, there isn't one to take. More of these. Now, as I start to get more and more of them, it's more likely that I'll have some good choices in there. So far, that's not the case. And I'm actually setting things up so I probably had more shows showing to try to keep something alive through my through my lineup. And now I've got 3 bad things, so it's very likely that it'll go down. That was red. I gotta put this at green, and I gotta go. Okay, so this is kind of ugly. Green landed on a production, paid $1,000, matching his cash, getting himself a 90-minute show. At the very least, money from the sponsorship. Red's play is interesting. Advanced token to nearest rating score. Well, first we swing through here. We'll give him the $3,000. I don't know if that's specified in the game the way it is in Monopoly, but it's kind of the assumed that if you pass go in any game, right? Yeah. But here's what's interesting. Late scheduling changes confuse your audience and reduce the rating value of all your programming. You're going to lose 10 from all your rating scores. However, you can observe the primetime lineup cards of other players and their rating score before committing your own programming. Now, normally I would just say, well, that's the face down stuff. No, it looks like, because of this next sentence, you must commit your programming before the rating points values of any specials is decided and before preemption tile is played. Now, under the preemption tile, so that seems to indicate that you get to see everything face up. Under the preemption tile, though, you do it after seeing primetime lineups of other players, but before rolling dice for any specials. So again, that looks like that's going to be all face up when you get to do the preemption. I normally flip things up kind of as a roll down. That doesn't appear to be the way the game is supposed to be played. I think you're actually supposed to align things face up and you don't flip them. So I've been doing that wrong. That's okay. It hasn't affected anything without the preemption or without this card. So I'll start with the thinking on this guy, and then we can get a much clearer idea of what we win and what we lose. But we got this big penalty sitting here in these chips, so we may end up getting wiped out, plus the minus 10 in there. We'll see how. So I went with the full lineup of starting with the movie, and I've got to use these. I'm not going to get to use any of my stars. And with the movie in place, I have to use this 60-minute show because these guys are too big and this guy's too little. I'd need another short show to fit in there. But I've got these positive reviews in each case. Now the question is, can I come up with some kind of optimization that beats this? And this is the thing. You know, normally you're playing blind optimization. It kind of feels like I should detail in on this because this is open optimization. But, well, let's see what we got here. So this is going to be 128 points. And remember, I'm at minus 10. Now, if I look at my pieces, this is pretty much the kind of lineup I have to do. Or I could do this. Those are my 2 choices. 2 big shows or a big show and the 2 little. I don't think I can win. Let's take a look. So this at 128, I'm just not going to be able to beat this. No matter what, I'm not going to have more than 3 shows out there, and every one of them has a penalty. If there's something I want to save, it's Sleigh House 90, so I'll put that aside. We'll see if I can come, you know, within 20 points anywhere, but I don't think I can, not with the penalties in play. Alfred Switchback is at 70. He's probably the strongest thing I've got. Well, 90 minus 26 puts me to 63. Minus 10 more is 53. And I'm just not going to have the money. Now here's the problem. So I've been going with this 5,000 bucks that you can add to something. And I'm probably not going to do it here. Just because I kind of know what some of his shows are. Got 5,000 bucks, and these rules are not the easiest to find things in. Is done before the time lineup cards are revealed. Yeah. I feel like I've got a pretty good lineup here. So I'm only going to put that 5,000 in on a 1 now. So now he knows what he's gotten. Let's see what he can put up here. So this is 114, probably 119. And again, I'm going to be facing a negative thing. So I'm going to keep Slay House 90 out of play. And that means I'm going to be defeated everywhere. It really doesn't matter. So I'll just throw these, and I know I've got them in the wrong spaces, but I'll just throw these here. They're all wiped out. This has to go away because I have no stars. I can't use it. And I just lose almost everything. And it's funny because red looked like they were in the lead. Now, I'm in this position where this video is running really long, but I have very little, and this goes away because it's an Academy Award movie, I have very little that I can do. You know, I think the game's going to end on the next ratings war, very likely, although the loss of that movie might have hurt it. The possibility of this combination taking out this 90-minute show. Hard to tell. But yeah, I kind of don't want to upload it, but I feel like I have to because this one's taking so long. So I'm going to move some dice here. And by the way, I had my interview. It was for a position that I probably shouldn't have even been applying for. But I kind of convinced them to at least consider forwarding it to the next level of the interview. And now, you know, I mean, I hate having things on my plate. All right, let's send this up.